Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones by not allowing people to manipulate your energy by only talking and discussing things that you said when there was that hard energy exchange / fight. You know what I'm saying? There was a battle going on. You know, some witchy shit was happening in the spiritual realm, and you was like, I ain't going for it. But because they feel as if they have more knowledge and more intelligent than you, and their magic is stronger than yours, that they're gonna keep working and pushing it. And what happens is, right, when we're younger, it's easier for that shit to kind of work on us, and it's less of us blaming ourselves then. But as we get older, more of us start to blame ourselves, you know, which you have to a certain degree, because you still are putting yourself in these positions, which I am guilty of it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not just out here pointing the finger. But when I was processing, just diving in about like just how the opposition operates and the things and the tactics that they do to kind of try to manipulate the environment to affect your energy. That's basically what they do, because if you think about it, we manipulate the energy in the environment to bring it up. So even if we're not telling people to raise their frequency or vibration spiritually, that's how we move around. That's the energy aura that's around us. But for them, they have the opposite energy and aura. And whether it was years ago with past or present, one thing they love to do is they love to bring up how you punched them in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean? And to me, I never understood that, because even when I was young, I got into a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? So many fights to where I got held back in 5th grade and was repeating 5th grade when I got to Virginia. You know what I mean? So I done been in a lot of physical altercations. That's not really that much to me at this point in time. Spiritually means a lot. And I would say in my past, I didn't have the same kind of knowledge that I have, because I didn't have the tools to confirm what I was feeling and what I knew when I was younger. But now I'm older, and the higher power lets me know. And it's pretty windy. Y'all can see my shit is blowing, so if the audio is a little crazy, I got a pretty good Rode mic up here. Sometimes it's just the wind, it doesn't. But what happens is, right, anytime I got into a fight when I was younger, whether it was with one of my friends or somebody that I wasn't friends with, I never talked about how he hit me or how he punched me or kicked me, if it was that kind of contact during the fight afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how I am. If I'm going to talk to my associate or the other nigga who I had the issue with, it's going to be what happened prior to the altercation exploding. The opposition loves to only bring up the times when you were in the middle of a brawl. If you in the middle of a brawl, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to put that work in. And you are not trying to get hit, and you are trying to do some damage to the other being. I mean, you see that out here in nature. So, you should not feel any guilt for doing what's natural in nature. You know what I mean? But this is one of the tactics that they love to do. They love to keep bringing up things that you said when y'all had an altercation, you know what I'm saying? Or things that you may have done. You know, you at fault if you stay. You at fault if you leave. You know what I'm saying? You at fault if you respond. It's a whole bunch of weird, witchy shit, man. When I say weird and witchy, like, once you start getting to our places of enlightenment, and you still are engaging with these kind of beings, because they're everywhere. I hate when people make it seem like, oh, well, you can just avoid them. Yes, you avoid one, and there's another one. That's like me getting in this water and expecting to swim to that part of the water and not bump into any fish. Like, nature has a lot more common sense. Like, we make way more intelligent to believe that, right? So when you get to these places of enlightenment, right, and you corresponding your experiences and all these things together, and it's all connecting, making you feel good, making sense, and then you got a witchy motherfucker who only want to bring up the things that are said when you are in an argument. You have to understand that this is how they choose to be disgusting. Because the thing about me, and I just use me because I can't always speak for everybody else, and it's like I talk about a lot of shit, you know what I mean? So if the only things that you can recall, if you were one of those beings in my life and I had one of those engagements with, then you should already understand, like, I'm to infinity and beyond that space right there. Like, you would not be able to use how I punched the shit out of you, I weaved your punch and I uppercutted you. You can talk to me about it afterwards, but I'm still gonna feel pretty good about it, because I don't start fights, I just plan on finishing them. That's my thing, because you will not finish me. So with that being said, like, it's repetition. They're gonna do it repeatedly. They're not working on it. It's repetition. If you're working on it, you would not be doing it every day or every other day. You know what I mean? And some beings, they like to only really engage with you if it's on some emotional kind of interaction, engaging in responses. And if it was something of your past, it's gonna be one of those weird reach ouches where it's like you tossing up whether you want to even fucking respond to it or not. You know what I mean? Like, once you become aware of the tactics that they use and that they do, then it's not as effective anymore. You know, they might want it to be a little bit more effective, but I was telling somebody earlier today, like, I don't see squirrels, deers out here fighting themselves, right? You're not gonna see a bear fighting itself, a lion fighting itself. But humans, us spiritual beings, having a human experience in this witchy ass Western society, because I don't like putting it everywhere all over the world. I only put it where the robot machine is at, the Western society. Nature, the natural flow of life, the animals, they are not fighting themselves. But because we're more intelligent than them on a different frequency, and we're allowed to create change in the land and the environments around us on a bigger frequency than they can, because they can change it, it's just not on the biggest frequency as we can. We spend more time fighting ourselves. When you actually process the shit, right? And you've been a fighter your entire life, it kind of frustrates you to a small degree. You know what I mean? Because you know you don't have ill intentions. You know you're not running around on no fuck shit. You know, you may do some things because we are humans and have experiences, but like, it's a difference between robbing an old lady and a family honoring about their business, and then robbing somebody who's out here in the streets with the work or the pack. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different. The one with the pack chose that kind of environment and that frequency, so you should be susceptible to that. But the other beings shouldn't be susceptible to that, but they are, because we're all in this realm together. But we spend more time fighting ourselves, which is fucking retarded. Is because I did 3 years in prison, so for me that was a huge chunk for me to understand, like, when COs do certain things, you gotta bite your motherfucking tongue. You don't have to, you can say something, but the situation will get worse, and it may become worse. You know what I'm saying? It's just the physical authority in those kind of situations. It forces you to fight that space spiritually. You know, I don't even like calling it fighting myself. It's fighting that space. Because if it was just myself, then I would be at peace. You know, so since I'm fighting, then I want to call it that space. Because when I'm just in my space, I'm not fighting. You know, when it's just me. And I'm talking about like, and if there was no matrixy shit around, because we all have our cycles. So when I'm in my upward cycles and everything is taken care of and all that shit, and I'm in my own space, I have that space to fight with as much. Not for me. I'm in that space fighting for other beings. So it's different. But you have these other beings who will continuously approach you and look at you and try to talk to you and address you like you should be sorry or apologetic for knocking their motherfucking head off. Like, don't swing, don't open your mouth if you are not ready for the smoke. Simple process. I will not. If I don't want no smoke, say I'm just chilling, right? And I go to the store, I'm just in my little flip-flops, and I'm just in my own world right now. You know what I'm saying? If I go into the store and they try to put me in that space, I won't allow it. I just went and saw my daughter today, and they tried to put me in a space. And the universe is always working with me, right? But I always know the opposition is working against me. Because I was getting to my daughter's school and I was almost a little late. And I was just really going to pop in to give her some love, you know, because it's been about 2 weeks with this new routine shit. And I know that she had already been missing me from the last time that we had talked. So I'm like, all right, well, school is the media and I'll go out here to the matrix shit. So as they're in the line, they can see my daughter is hugging me and loving me. I told my daughter I'm fighting for her all the time in the spirit world, you know, because this is just how I communicate with her. And one of the other teachers can hear it, and they're just like, oh, it's so sweet. Because my daughter has said it back too. She's like, I'm fighting for you too, Daddy. And and like after the one teacher said it, the music teacher was like, yeah, you can come on in for this class session if you want to. And what's crazy is, for one, the damn witchy ass school say that the parents is not even supposed to be sitting down in there with the kid, with the little people. But then, for two, how I knew the universe was working with me, because that has been a rule, right, at the school. That has been a rule. But today was the day where I go and get invited for the music class, and the music teacher was a new substitute who's finishing out the school year. And I don't believe in coincidences. So since I haven't seen my minnie that long, they was giving me some more time. You know what I'm saying? She used to us having our week to week. You know, it's a big transition. The other guy let me in there. I knew that was my team using that vessel. Because I was already running behind on time, and it was just weird. And then when we started transitioning, I could tell that the motherfucker was using the vessel. But then afterwards, the opposition found another vessel to use, because I seen another woman teacher. You know, the women always got the biggest fucking balls. Man, I am so over women with nuts. I am telling you, I am over women with nuts. This shit is like, I personally, just not like being like cocky or arrogant, just, I was born this way. I didn't have any choice of my vessel. You know, this was given to me. I never imagined having so many issues with women until I understood it was a spiritual war. And then what they did was, in the spiritual war, they put nuts on the women and they put panties on the men, you know. So it's a weird process, you know. But that motherfucker came in like, hey, yeah, you can't sit in here with the glass, because none of the other kids can do it. No, we cannot have any kids thinking they're special in here. It's such a weird process, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is, and it's all spiritual based. It's all spiritual based. That's why I was even starting it off with how these other beings like to use. So like, say I go to the school and I engage with the principal and he ain't like the way I engaged with him last time. you know what I'm saying, he gonna be sitting on that same energy I engaged with him last time, you know what I'm saying? Not understanding on a deeper level that, hey, motherfucker, I'm not always in that energy. Y'all created that realm. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like on a deeper level they do. They know. I just like to say they don't know. Sometimes when I want to be softer on the demonic and witchy shit, I try to lighten up like, they don't know. They retarded, you know, like those are lighter for me on the outside saying, but I know in the inside, I already fucking know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? But don't allow people to manipulate your energy, you know what I'm saying? Don't allow people to keep reiterating and bringing up shit and things that you said when the energy frequency was in fight mode. That don't even make sense to me. Have them discuss and bring up things that you were saying and doing when that energy was not present. You know what I'm saying? Your normal state. I'm not always in fight mode. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that if I'm in a physical fight, I'm like, once I'm done with that, I'm done with that. I'm not still in that mode where it's like, nah, I'm back in my regular state. Talk to us about the things that we say and do when we're in our regular state, because when you do it when it's the other space, you're being a full-on demonic witch. They are being full-on demonic witches, and they have to. And trust me, fellas, if you don't get it, then you will, because they're going to pull your ass right down the drain and tell you, hey, what about my emotions? Women love to use that word, we're emotional, so we can manipulate you and keep trashing you and thrashing you and throwing you off course and distracting you and doing everything else under the sun. It's weird when people say, women are emotional. I'm like, nigga, I'm emotional too. I have energy and motion. What the fuck does that mean? The fuck does that mean? Women are emotional. I know women that got nuts, and I know women that don't have nuts. But I know about 80% of them is gonna have some big kahunas. And just like 70% of the damn men in the Western world, and I wanna say 80%, got panties on. And the thing is, if they not doing this thing right here, then they look regular like this, but they're extremely submissive beta in some kind of weird space. And them weird motherfuckers do the same thing too. They do the same shit and will keep reiterating the same thing. Repetition is how you ingrain in something into somebody. Repetition. I told somebody not too long ago, like every day, like you have some kind of weird ass outbreak. Like shut the fuck up or keep that energy to yourself or figure out how to put your finger in your butt or do something. Do something. Don't just keep projecting that shit and keep being witchy, because if you haven't saw Dr. Sleep, go watch the movie Dr. Sleep. I just saw it last night, and it's this realm. It's us. It's us. It's showing the chosen one, a little girl. She is lit. She is lit. When I say she giving them demons and them witches all the smoke, she giving them all the smoke. And it just shows how we are in different realms before we get here, because she was a young little human. And she was way more powerful and intelligent than these demons. And these demons and witches was going around stealing little kids and drinking their blood, giving them longer life and doing all the shit that they do now. It's shit that they do now. They're doing it. And it shows how other entities hopped in the demonic team and possessed them and was doing shit. And it showed how the higher power had other entities jumping in the good vessels and doing things for them. It also even showed how one light being was hidden his whole life and tried to tell the little girl light being not to shine her light as bright. And the little girl was like, hell nah, that's me. That's me. I ain't no little ass girl, grown ass man, but I'm like, fuck that. I'm about to shine my light. I don't give a fuck how mad you get. I don't give a fuck if you want to keep reiterating the shit. What's gonna happen is the same way they was getting at all them other people in the movie. That little girl brought them all the smoke, and they deserved every piece of it. Every piece of it. All the stuff. She was just used as a vessel. We already know it's bigger than this. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below.